and welcome to the first episode of After the Funeral, a space for the grief that we carry. In case you don't know who I am, my name is Yushanika. I am the founder, the producer, everything that's going to be happening with this podcast. I am so happy that you have decided to click on this video. However you found it, I really appreciate it. This first episode is just going to be an introduction, how I came up with this, what it is, just answering all the who, what, when, where, and whys. So let's get started. After the Funeral is going to be a podcast style YouTube video. We're going to have episodes. We are going to have some guests. We're going to talk about grief, the good, the bad, the ugly. We're going to talk about it all. And grief is not going to be necessarily dedicated to those who have passed on. It's literally going to be dedicated to whatever season of grief you are in, because grief is not only for people who have passed on or are no longer here with us. So we're going to talk about it in all aspects. I lost my dad January 18, 2020. He had prostate cancer, and I'm going to tell you that whole story in other episodes. However, what I have found out is he was my first person that I have ever lost that was close to me. And I did not understand the whole grieving process. And, once people found out, I got the calls, the texts, they wanted to see me, things like that. But what I have learned is after the funeral, that's when the grief really starts. After, you don't get those, hey, I'm just checking in on you, things like that. What exactly do you do? And if you're not careful, you will find yourself being upset with people because you are grieving and they didn't check up on you. If you are not careful, you will find yourself upset with people because they did not check up on you, because they didn't know that you were grieving, because they went on with their daily life. Let's just be honest. Well, we'll talk about that later for sure. But we're going to talk about that because I'm going to tell you some interesting things. This podcast is not only for those who have physically lost a loved one. When you are grieving, you can be grieving life. You can be grieving a job. You can be grieving a situation. The life that you thought that you had. There's so many different ways there's so many different things that you could be grieving. So this podcast is literally for everybody. I want you to know that I do see you. I do understand. I may not have lost the same loss that you have experienced, but I do know what it feels like to lose someone. And I want to let you know that I am here for you. I am praying for you. And I promise you, it does get better. It may not be today. It probably won't be tomorrow or next week. But eventually, it does get better. Hey, thank you for watching this first episode of After the Funeral, a space for the grief that we carry. I know that this is going to be a journey. All episodes, we might not laugh, we might not cry every episode, but I do believe that it is going to help someone. And as long as I can help one person, I feel like my job is done, honestly. Just remember, just because the funeral is over, you still have permission to grieve. See you next time.